Hi, how's everybody doing today? Today I would like to talk about the projection field and what that is. It's one thing, but I'm going to dissect it into two segments or two parts really. And what that is the vibrational state you're in, you're actually projecting off an energy onto other people as well. Um, you may have felt it coming off other people, like when you meet somebody or run into somebody you know, and you can feel love coming at you, or maybe anger or hate. Like you can generally feel that coming off of you. It's like a sixth sense, right? You're emitting a certain type of energy. People can feel that, and then people are emitting their type of energy, and you can feel it. That's part of the projection field. And some of us have a natural projection field, no matter what vibration you're in. Um, a projection field to where you think like you can get to a highest vibrational state where everyone's just flooding at you and wants to be, oh, they want to be around you all the time. That's not necessarily the case, because we're all here, our projection fields are here to do what's naturally good for us. So um, some people, it's, preaching is what their natural state is, so people want to naturally listen to them. um, or maybe you're a good coach, like a one-on-one coach, but you're not necessarily a good preacher in front of of a lot of people. That's more like the natural projection state, and that I think that has somewhat related to do with the zodiac a little bit. But you can have a good projection field where everyone feels somewhat comfortable around you, and it's not like it's hard to explain, right? Like you think you get to a higher vibration, and it's like you're just gonna be the most popular person on the planet. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about your kind of your like life path, whether you're um, a coach, a preacher, you're creative, maybe you're an artist or a musician, and that the projection field you're giving off with that makes the people that are interested in that attracted to you. Because we know very well that some of the most popular people out there are could be some of the worst people out there. So that's not what I'm referring to. And the projection field affects a lot of stuff too. Like you could be projecting a certain thing where it's either attracting or blocking certain things that you may or may not want, and it's tied into belief a little bit, but not much. It's like 10%. But the vibrational state you're in, your life path, and all that stuff. That's the polarity and the repelling of that type of magnetism, so to speak. Um, I would like to talk a little bit about help do this. You need to be your authentic self, right? You need to be yourself and not put on a front when you're around other people. And this is very difficult for some because if you're being yourself, you might repel people like close in your life, even family, away from you, and they just can't stand you anymore for whatever reason. And it has nothing to do with you being nice or not. It's you being your authentic self, your natural state, the way you should be portraying yourself, not a face, not a Joker mask in front of the crowd, right? You, so if you may feel sad because you're alienating some of the family, not by choice or whatever. It's just you're being yourself, and then they realize, oh, this is who you are, and it's either they like it or they don't like it. But that doesn't matter, because when you're being your authentic self, you're going to attract other people who are also being their authentic selves, true people, and true to what they're trying to do in their spiritual journey. It's a lot better than having a bunch of fake friends or even fake family members. I mean, family can be fake, right? Like they can do things to like for their own agenda. And I'm not talking about your kids. Your kids are that's a different realm entirely. I'm talking about like it could be brothers or sisters, cousins, um, sometimes parents. Uh, so the kids thing is there, but um, if you're being your authentic self, generally you're probably trying to be a good parent too. So those go hand in hand. So I'm trying not to make confusion on that, and it would take like an hour to explain this, and my videos are only about 10 minutes long, so I won't go into that. If you want to elaborate on more, please write in the comments. Email me at realitysimulator@gmail.com. I'm going to keep mentioning my email so you guys can write to me in every video. And I apologize because I'm low tech right now. I don't even have a desktop computer. But once I get one, I can start editing these videos where I can get the population on the bottom of the screen. But anyways, The Authentic Self. One of the most spiritual movies I've ever seen, and I hope I can do this movie justice the way I explain it, is Legend of Bagger Vance with Matt Damon and Will Smith. And the reason why is because Will Smith is basically playing a godlike character. He's God coming into Captain Randolph Jr.'s life because he came back from the war, and Captain Juna lost his entire platoon under his command during World War I. And he's having the PTSD and the grief and the guilt of losing all those men under his watch. And he was the only one that survived, right? For whatever reason. And he's trying to get back into golf, and that PTSD and that trauma that he's experiencing is making him, he's not playing golf like right, because when you're playing golf you have to be centered and balanced, and he's not balanced. So Will Smith comes out, like, manifests himself out of the woods and starts teaching him. And one of the messages that he was talking about was like, once what never was, what is, and what could be. I'm not phrasing that correctly. I should have looked that up before I came. But when he was at night, when he's dropping the golf balls in front of him, and he's swinging, he's finding his authentic swing. Now, authentic swing, yes, that's a sport thing to get in the zone. But what he was really, the message he was really given to you, and was he wanted him to be his authentic self, not have trauma and guilt, be his true self, so he can get balanced and start playing golf better. And yes, I understand that sports you can get in the zone and that type of thing, but God didn't come down into his life just so he could be able to swing a golf club correctly. He was fixing multiple problems in his life, and he was trying to he had to let go of past trauma. He had to be present and kind of like relieve his anxiety. And his relationship got better with his ex-girlfriend, and he got into a better relationship with the caddy kid, and he was starting to become happier, because he was depressed in the beginning of the movie where he's just like drinking and playing poker or whatever, and then he kind of like gets more balanced. Not saying that drinking and poker is a bad thing, but that was just the visual in the movie. There were several messages in that movie. That's why I love that movie a lot, because there's so much metaphysical teachings in that movie. And there's other ones too, but I wanted to mention that one because he talked about the authentic swing, but what he was really talking about was being his authentic self. And that's when stuff can come into alignment, is when you're being your authentic self. And it's hard. Like, you're in public, and if you're acting like yourself and you feel like that's weird and people think you're weird, well, it doesn't matter. Don't be a people pleaser. If you're a people pleaser, do not be a people pleaser. You need to have your boundaries. You need to be in your frame. You need to be your authentic self. And when you say, oh, Brandon, when I go to work, if I act like myself, they're going to fire me. That's because you're not supposed to be there. Your authentic self, if they don't like your authentic self or you being in your own frame, you're obviously in the wrong place. Because when you're your authentic self, you are aligned with the universe, and the universe puts you where you need to be. It helps with the conjunction of all the other practices we're doing with spirituality, right? Like the grounding, the meditation, the affirmations, the belief, the law of assumption, the law of attraction, all of it, everything we cover and more. And I'll get to that later in other videos. If we practice that, be in our frame, be ourselves, our true selves, our authentic selves, we're putting ourselves in a position where it's in more harmony and balance with the universe and God and yourself, right? Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it every time. Please watch my future videos, and have a nice day.